Professional salesmanship. Salesmanship is defined as the level of skill you have in convincing people to buy or in persuading people to do something. Basic objective continues to be negotiation of a sale, though the emphasis on the means to achieve the end.
Next is what is selling. Selling is responding to consumer needs and wants through planned, personalized communication in order to influence purchase decisions and ensure satisfaction. Planned communication, personalized communication influences purchase decision, should ensure customer satisfaction. The next is definition of personal selling. Person-to-person communication with a prospect. Personal selling is a process of developing relationship, discovering needs, matching products with needs, communicating benefits, viewed as a process that adds value. The next is the golden rule of personal selling, refers to the sales philosophy of unselfishly treating others as you would like to be treated. Reciprocity is not expected. Example, children's cat had recently delivered a little of kittens. Girl, they love each other so much that they're trying to keep each other warm. Mother, actually they're trying to keep themselves warm. There are three different salesperson. First is the traditional salesperson guided by self-interest. The second is professional salesperson, takers of customers, and the third relation selling, others' interest most important. Salespeople are paid to do. Salespeople are paid to sell, that is their job. Performance goals are set for themselves in order to serve others and earn a living and keep their job. Their employers, so the companies will survive. Their customers, to fulfill needs and help organization grow. How do you sell someone and remain friends? Salespeople needs to close sales and at the same time maintain a great relationship with their customer. The two types of sales jobs. Retail selling. A retail salesperson sells goods or services to consumers for their personal non-business use. And the second is direct selling. Face-to-face sales to consumers, typically in their homes, who use the products for their non-business personal use. What does a salesperson do? A salesperson creates new customers, sells more to present customers, builds long-term relationships, provides solutions to customers' problems, provides service to customers, helps customers resell products to their customers, helps customers use products after purchase, builds goodwill with customers, provides company with market information.
Two-way form of communication. In selling situations, the message sender can adjust the message as they gain feedback from message receivers. So, if a customer does not understand the initial message, the salesperson can make adjustments to address questions or concerns. Many non-personal forms of promotion, such as a radio advertisement, are flexible, at least in the short term, and cannot be easily adjusted to address audience questions. The interactive nature of personal selling also makes it the most effective promotional method for building relationship with others, particularly in business-to-business market. This is especially important for companies that either sell expensive products or sell lower cost but high volume products that rely heavily on customers making repeat purchases, because such as purchases may take a considerable amount of time to complete and may involve the input of many people at the purchasing company. Sales success often requires the marketer develop and maintain strong relationship with the members of purchasing company. Finally, personal selling is the most practical promotional option for reaching customers who are not easily reached through other methods. The best example is in selling to the business market, where compared to the consumer market, advertising, public relation, and sales promotion are often not well received. Disadvantages of personal selling. Possibly, the biggest disadvantages of selling is the degree to which this promotional method is misunderstood. Most people have some bad experiences with salespeople who they perceive were overly aggressive or even downright annoying. While there are certainly many salespeople who fall into this category, the truth is salespeople are most successful when they focus their efforts on satisfying customers over the long term and not focusing on their own selfish interest. High cost per action. Since personal selling involves person-to-person contact, the money spent to support a sales staff can be steep. For instance, in some industries, it costs well over $300 each time a salesperson contacts a potential customer. This is incurred whether a sale is made or not. These costs include compensation, providing sales support materials, allowances for entertainment spending, office supplies, telecommunication, and much more. With such high cost for maintaining a sales force, selling is often not a practical option for selling products that do not generate a large amount of revenue. Training cost. Most forms of personal selling require the sales staff be extensively trained on product knowledge, industry information, and selling skills. For companies that require their salespeople to attend formal training programs, the cost of training can be quite high. Include such expenses as travel, hotels, meals, and training equipment, while also paying the trainee salaries while they attend. A third disadvantage is that personal selling is not for everyone. Job turnover in sales is often much higher than the other marketing positions. For companies that assign salespeople to handle customers groups, turnovers may leave a company without representation in a customer group for an extended period of time, while the company recruits and trains a replacement. Scope of personal selling. In the business, there are two types of personal selling activities. First is the inside selling, and the second is outside selling. Inside selling, it involves retail stores. In this group, we include the salesperson in the stores and the salespeople at the catalog retailers who take telephone orders. Also include our telephone order takers at manufacturers and wholesalers. Also, most of whom take existing customers' routine orders over the telephone. And the second is outside selling. Salespeople go to the consumer. They make contact by the telephone or in person. Most outside sales force usually represent producers or wholesalers, middlemen selling to the business users and not to the household consumers. In outside selling, we also include producers whose representatives sales directly household consumers. Insurance company. The second is representatives of retail organizations who go to the customer's house to demonstrate a product, give advice, or provide an estimate. Such salespeople for some furniture stores, home, heating, and air conditioning retailers. And the third is representative of non-profitable organizations, charity fundraisers, workers for political candidate. Different types of salesmen. First is the order getters. The role most synonymous with selling is a position in which the salesperson is actively engaged in using their skills to obtain orders from customers. Such roles can be further divided into new business development. A highly challenging yet potentially lucrative sales position is one where the main objective is to find new customers. Sales jobs in this category are often in the fields that are very competitive but offer high rewards for those that are successful. The key distinguishing factors of this position is that once a sale is made new business, salespeople pass customers on to others in their organizations who handle account maintenance. These positions include business equipment sales. These salespeople are often found in the industries where companies' main profits come from the sale of supplies and services that come after initial equipment purchase. The key objective of business equipment salespeople is to get buyers to purchase the main
piece of equipment for which supplies and service are needed in the offer for the equipment to function. For instance, in the photocopier industry, certain salespeople only seek out new accounts, and once a photocopier sale is made, they pass along the amount to other sales personnel who handle the sales of maintenance and supply products. Telemarketing. This category includes product sales over the phone, whether aimed at business or consumer. While in the US, laws restrict unsolicited phone selling. The practice is still widely used in the business market. Consumer selling. Certain companies are very aggressive in their use of salespeople to build new consumers' business. This includes retailers selling certain high-priced consumer products include furniture, electronics, and clothing. Housing products include real estate, security service, building replacement products, and in-home product sellers including those selling door-to-door and products sold at home party events such as cosmetics, kitchenware, and decorative products. Account management. Most people engaged in sales are not only involved in gaining initial order, but work to build and maintain relationships with clients that are intended to last a long time. Salespeople involved in account management are found across a broad range of industries. Their responsibilities involves all aspects of building customers' relationship from initial sale to follow-up account servicing. This includes business-to-business selling. Business-to-business selling, salespeople sell products for business use with an emphasis on follow-up sales. In many cases, business-to-business salespeople have many different items available for sale rather than a single product. So while the initial sale may only result in a buyer purchasing a few products, the potential exists for buyers to purchase many other products as the buyer-seller relationship grows. And the second is trade selling. Trade selling sales professional working for consumer product companies normally do not sell to the final user. Instead, their role is focused on first getting distributors such as wholesalers and retailers to handle their products, and once this is accomplished, helping distributors to sell their products to buy, offering ideas for product advertising, in-store display, and promotions. Order takers. Selling does not always require a salesperson to use methods designed to encourage customers to make a purchase. In fact, the greatest number of people engaged in selling are not order getters. Rather, they are considered order takers. In this role, salespeople primarily assist customers with the purchase in a way that are much less assertive than order getters. As might expected, compensation for order takers is generally lower than that of order getters. Among those serving as an order taker roles are retail clerks. While some retail salespeople are involved in new business selling, the vast majority of retail employees handle order taking tasks, which range from directing customers to products to handle customers checkout. Industrial distributor clerks. Industrial purchase situations such as distributors of building products will also have clerks to handle customer purchases. Customer service. Order taking is also handled in non-face-to-face ways through customer service personnel. Usually this occurs via phone conversations, though newer technologies are following for this task to be handled through electronic means such as online chat. Order influencer. Some salespeople are not engaged in direct selling activities at all. That is, they do not sell directly to the person who is the ultimate purchaser for their products. Instead, these salespeople concentrate on selling activity that targets those who influence purchases made by the final customer. The primary example of an order of influencer is missionary salesperson. Place of personal salesmanship in the field of marketing. In the distribution of any product or service,
there are two coordinate and complementary sets of considerations. Those of advertising, which aims to influence sales in the masses, and those of personal salesmanship, which seeks to influence the individual. Back of this, another more fundamental than either, having to do with marketing, a term denoting the whole plan of distribution and inclusive of every phase of it. It includes the selection of marketing channels, trademarking, packaging, pricing, discounts, credits, and many other considerations which must be gone into and decided upon before the first salesman can be employed or first piece of advertising copy written. Personal salesmanship takes its place and has its setting in this broader field of marketing. It carries the message of the product and the marketing campaign to the middleman along the channel distribution or to the final consumer or both. Ordinarily, it is the activity which brings in the cash and makes effective, finally, the aims and products of the marketing campaign as a whole. While at one time very much of an individualist and selling in his own way and on his own plan, the salesman today finds himself becoming more and more integral part of a broad marketing plan that involves the necessity of handling and understanding advertising, discount, credit policies, dealer helps, and the numerous other marketing consideration which now play a large part in making the product itself attractive to the customers. Because a large part of a salesman's work deals with the uncertainties of human nature, he will always remain something of an individualist. He finds himself today compelled to assume the proportion of a broad gauge businessman if he would continue to be an effective salesman. It is with a statement of the principle and practices of personal salesmanship, with ways and means of developing and increasing personal selling ability, that this text is concerned. Throughout, we keep constantly in mind this requirement of business knowledge running along with selling effectiveness. Definition of a sale. Legally, a sale is a transaction in which one person persuades another to purchase something at an agreed price. From a business point of view, the sale should result in a profit to the seller as a legitimate phase of commerce. It should convey an advantage or a profit to a buyer. As a practical matter, the salesman should keep the last two parts of this definition constantly in mind. He will want to gauge the effectiveness of his selling in terms of profit to his house and recognition of benefits to the buyer kept constantly before him will prevent an apologetic attitude, not uncommon to salesmen, which if allowed to develop tends to lower sales morale. As a practical matter, also, it must be recognized that this mutual advantage may not always materialize. The price of sugar may go up or down and result in a loss either to the buyer or the seller. The price of a security sincerely recommended may go off either temporarily or permanently, sometimes from causes quite aside from its intrinsic value. Trends in a neighborhood, changes in the plans of municipality, or some existing condition unknown to buyer or seller at the time of sale may cause real estate to deteriorate in value, but these are ordinary risks to which all business is subjected. The salesman who has acted in good faith is not called upon to assume a personal responsibility for these occasional happenings. Salesmanship has been defined by different people in different ways. Some people say salesmanship is practice of investigating and satisfying customer needs through a process that is efficient, fair, sincere, mutually beneficial, and aim at long-term productive relationship. The art of successfully pursuing prospects or customers to buy products or services which from they can derive suitable benefits, thereby increasing their total satisfaction. Nature of salesmanship.
The basic features of salesmanship are as follows. A. Salesmanship involves persuasion of customers. A salesman has the ability to convince the people to buy his product. It essentially involves the ability to influence or persuade people to buy a product or service. In fact, persuasion is the soul of the modern salesmanship. Gone are the days when a sale was forced on the customers. Modern salesmanship does not rely on pressure tactics or compulsion to clinch a sale. The customer is led to a favorable buying decisions through careful and imaginative handling. The salesman necessarily creates a favorable impression on the prospective buyer's mind by presenting the benefits associated with the products or service being offered for sale. Salesmanship involves winning buyers' confidence. Modern salesmanship aims at educating the customer and providing a solution to his problems. This helps in winning his confidence. It aims at winning the confidence of the buyers by persuading and educating them about the availability of products and services, their special features, and their utility in satisfying their respective needs. Salesmanship involves providing information. Salesmanship is an educative process. It tells customers the ways in which they can satisfy their needs. Salesman provides information about products available, their broad features and their uses and utility to the customers. Salesmanship aims at mutual benefit. Salesmanship is a two-way process. It results in benefits not only to the sellers but also to the buyers. It helps in solving the problems of the buyers and satisfying their needs. Customer satisfaction leads to increase in profitable sales volume for the salesman. Salesman creates satisfied customers. Salesman in modern days aims at creating satisfied customers rather than just profit-gathering sales in any marketing transaction. A sale once made would indicate the end of the process. However, once there is a satisfied customer, it is the beginning of a long-lasting relationship which can create more sales in future. Therefore, modern salesmanship always aims at creating satisfied customers who will not most likely purchase his goods and services as when necessary. Importance of salesmanship. Salesmanship is an indispensable technique of promotion. The importance of personal selling may be described under the following heads. First is benefits to consumers. A salesman acts as a friend and guide to consumers. He informs them of new products and new uses of existing products. He helps them in choosing products which match their needs and incomes. A salesman guides the customers in buying products that will provide maximum satisfaction. And the second is benefits to businessmen. They help in the creation of demand for new products and in the extension of markets for existing ones through personal selling. A businessman can only inform customers of his product but know their taste, attitudes, and behavior, such as information in helpful in design and development of products that match market demand. By creating large-scale and regular demand, salesmanship makes planned and regular mass production possible. Salesmen help to build up a favorable corporate image necessary to secure repeat sales. Benefits, and the third one is benefits to society. Salesmanship helps to expand employment and income of a country through large and rapid sales turnover. Salesmen provide marketing information to producers so that the consumers to get a new, better products. Salesmen perform several non-selling tasks after sale service: meeting complaints, conducting marketing research, providing credit information, delivering goods, collecting payments. Salesmen help minimize price fluctuation and trade cycles by matching demand and supply. Scope of salesmanship. Salesmanship has become an indispensable part of business activity. Today, everybody is a seller, selling something or the other. It has been rightly pointed out that sales are the lifeblood of business. The job of today's salesman is not confined to selling consumers' goods. He also has to sell industrial and agricultural goods and service like transport, repairing, teaching, painting, banking, legal consultancy, medicine, insurance, and so on. Thus, the scope of salesmanship is vast and varied with the advancement of science and technology. The scope of salesmanship has become unlimited. It is skill which is essential in every sphere of human activity. Every one of us, in one sense or in other, is a salesman. The job of a lawyer pleading his case, a teacher teaching his ideas, an applicant applying for a job resembles the job of a salesman. In each of these cases, skills and ability of salesmen is very necessary in order to be successful. Thus, we observe that the skill of salesmanship is not restricted to selling goods and services, but it is applicable in several other fields. A modern salesman occupies a pivotal position in the structure of an organization. Modern sales managers take decisions about recruitment, selection, and training controlling of sales force. Similarly, the activities of production and sales are also considerably regulated by the sales manager of an organization. Salesmanship today covers a wide range of activities and constitutes an integral part of management. It also offers wide scope for development in future. In fact, modern salesmanship is going on scientific lines day by day. Times is not far when salesmanship will be in position to dedicate the producers of goods and services, what, when, and how much to produce for sale in the market. The scope of salesman activities will, of course, depend to a considerable extent upon the line he is selling and channels of distribution used. However, it is possible to present an outline, part or all of which apply to the average salesman. First and foremost, his main activity is to sell an adequate volume at satisfactory profit. As a matter of fact, all of the rest of the rather wide range of his activities should and does contribute in one way or another, directly or indirectly, to this main objective. This will be found to require a working knowledge of his industry, a fairly definite knowledge of his company, its history and its organization, and even more detailed acquaintance with its sales department and its every activity, and most through knowledge of the product or offering to be sold and how best to sell it. He must study his territory, analyze it, and now it thoroughly organize, build a list prospect on his which he can keep profitably busy and create in it personal goodwill for himself and business goodwill towards his company. His is the duty of cooperating the credit of the manager through intimate knowledge of local conditions and detailed knowledge of an individual customer. Many times, of course, he must lend personal assistance in the collection of accounts. He will also, whenever possible, cooperate with the production end of the business by reporting the reaction upon that trade and upon the consuming public, the company products and production policy, and let the home office know the competing articles and the reception accorded them. He will cooperate with the advertising manager by coordinating his activities with the general marketing and advertising plan, sell his company's advertising policies to the customer, assist him in availing himself of advertising helps, and encourage him in every way to tie in with the company's advertising. It is not at all unusual for today a salesman actually to sell the customer the entire marketing and advertising plan rather than the goods alone. Likewise, he is responsible for carrying out, so far as his territory is concerned, the instruction policies and the ideas of his sales manager. One of his important duties frequently will be to assist his customer by constructive suggestion and assistance in his stock display, improve merchandising methods, advertising, and the window trim.
as well as by instruction and suggestion to clerks to move the goods he has sold. For it is generally understood today that goods are not truly sold when they are placed upon the shelves of the dealer. They are not really sold until they have moved off the shelves of the dealer into the hands of the final consumer, for then and only then can a new order find its way back through the channels of trade. In addition, the salesman must present a detailed report of his daily activities and any changes in trade conditions, and should take personal pride in submitting any personal sales method which have been effective with him and which he believes will be helpful to other men in sales organization. He has a moral obligation constantly to prove his salesmanship by reading and study, consulting the latest books, and keeping in close touch with his trade journals. In the foregoing outline, we have assumed a salesman selling to the trade. Some of these activities will not apply to the specialty salesman who sells to users or consumers, but some of these duties devolve upon all salesmen, and the principle involved through preparedness from every angle applies to all. It will be seen that the scope of personal salesmanship is a broad one.